Hello, children of St. Mark's, and welcome back for another story. This week, we're reading through the stories about Holy Week, the last week of Jesus' life. In our first two stories the other day, we read about Jesus' entry into Jerusalem on the donkey and about the Last Supper when Jesus told his disciples, first he gave them the elements that we now use for communion with the bread and the wine. Take this and eat this, he said. And then they went out and he explained to them that his time was coming, that it was time for him to leave them. So today we are going to read about Jesus leaving his friends and what happened next. And then I think if you'll stick with me, there should be a happy ending to today's stories. So we're once again reading the Kindle edition of the Spark Story Bible. And I'm going to go ahead and begin. Jesus is betrayed. Jesus had a good friend named Peter who was there when Jesus healed people and made miracles happen. Jesus liked Peter so much he gave Peter the nickname the Rock. Jesus had another friend named Judas. Jesus, Peter, Judas, and the other disciples spent lots of time together. They were all together when Jesus told them that his life had to end. It was a sad and hard time for Jesus and his friends. Jesus felt so sad that he went to a quiet place in a garden and prayed. "Please, God," Jesus prayed, "make me strong. Help me trust you." Jesus asked the disciples to come to the garden and stay awake while he prayed, but they fell asleep. "Wake up, wake up, wake up," Jesus told the disciples 3 times. When Jesus finished praying, it was time for them to go and face hard things. Even though Jesus had many friends, he had some bad enemies too. Some people were scared that Jesus would change the world too much with love. Judas got scared too. He let Jesus down. Judas told some of Jesus' enemies where Jesus was. When soldiers came to the garden, Judas kissed Jesus on the cheek to show them who they were looking for. The soldiers took Jesus away. Judas and Peter ran away and hid. They were so scared. Later, Peter waited outside the place where Jesus was on trial. A girl saw Peter and said, "He's a friend of Jesus. He's in trouble too." Peter wanted to help his friend Jesus, but he was scared, so he pretended he didn't know Jesus. "I don't know him. I don't know him. I don't know him." Peter said his lie made him feel even worse. Peter ran away again. He cried and cried. Peter felt so bad for Jesus. Peter felt very, very sorry. But Jesus knew that Peter loved him. Jesus knew that Peter was his friend. That's why he had given Peter such a special job. The Rock became a strong leader in the church. He told many, many people about his best friend Jesus. "I know him, I know him, I know him," Peter told everyone, and that was the truth. The day Jesus died. It was a very sad day when Jesus died. The soldiers who had arrested Jesus teased him for pretending to be a king. They took his clothes and put a king's purple cloak on him. They made a crown of vines with sharp thorns and put it on Jesus' head. Ouch! The soldiers made Jesus carry a heavy wooden cross. The cross was too heavy for him. Jesus fell and skinned his knees, and the cross tumbled to the ground. A man in the crowd carried the cross the rest of the way. The soldiers nailed Jesus' hands and feet to the cross. They raised Jesus' cross up on a hill between 2 other men. The other men were thieves, and they were being crucified too. One of the men was angry with Jesus. "If you are a powerful king, can't you save yourself? Why don't you save us too?" the man spat at Jesus. But the other thief believed in Jesus. He shouted back, "Don't you know who this is? This is God's son. He hasn't done anything wrong. We are being punished for our mistakes, but Jesus shouldn't be here." The man turned to Jesus and asked, "Will you take me to heaven with you?" Jesus looked at the man and loved him. Jesus told him, "Yes, today we will be in heaven together." After a while, the world grew very dark, as if a terrible thunderstorm was coming. It was as if all of creation was crying because Jesus was about to die. Jesus was feeling all alone and prayed to see if God was still there. Of course, God never left Jesus. God was with him the whole time. Jesus looked at the crowd. He was so sad that people didn't believe that he was God's son. He asked God to forgive them for killing him. The soldiers offered him some sour wine, but he didn't want to drink it. He was ready to die. Finally, Jesus fought for long enough. He said, "God, the work you gave me to do here is finished." He breathed a final long, slow breath, and then he died. The empty tomb. It was early in the morning on the third day after Jesus died. The sky was pink and red with the first light. The women didn't notice the sky. They hurried to the cave that contained Jesus' body. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of James, led the way. Two others, Salome and Joanna, carried the spices to rub on the body of Jesus. They had a job to do. When the tomb of Jesus came into light, they froze. Uh-oh. They had forgotten about the huge stone that sealed the opening of the cave. How would they move it? The women kept going to the cave anyway. As they came closer, the women could see that the stone had already been rolled away. They peeked inside. Ooh, it was dark in there. Brr, it was cold in there. Drip, drip, drip. It was damp in there. What? It was empty in there. Jesus was gone. An angel appeared in sparkling white clothes. The glow from the angel brightened even the darkest corners of the cave. The women shielded their eyes from the blinding light. "Don't be afraid," the angel said. "Jesus isn't here. This is a place for the dead. Jesus is alive." "Hurry," the angel said. "Go, tell all the disciples." The women did not delay. They ran to tell Jesus' friends what they had seen and heard. Oof! Mary bumped into a man, tripped, and fell at his feet. Wait! She knew those feet. A familiar hand reached out to help her. Wait! She knew that hand. She looked up. Yes! She knew that smile. It was Jesus. "Hello, friends," Jesus said. Jesus was really alive. The woman hugged his feet and shouted with joy. "Go tell the others the good news that I am alive," Jesus said. "I will meet them in Galilee. I can't wait to see them again." The women had a new job to do. They had to tell everyone Jesus was alive. So, Jesus' resurrection, his coming back, his being alive, could not have happened without the sadness that happened at his death. So this Sunday, we'll celebrate Easter and the new life that Jesus gives us. Until next time, bye.